We are truly a company on the move in Sussex County. We operated our operations after 45 long years at the Route 1 location and have moved to a more spacious location out on Route 9, featuring a lot of different things that we did not have at Route 1. We've expanded our product opportunity. We've gone out and actually we're 35 plus manufacturers represented at our new showroom location. We have the world's best brands, actually. We talk about terms of product. We think, well, we just get it from a warehouse and we bring it to your house. We actually are getting appliances from as far away as Australia, custom made in England, Italy, and all different kinds of things for our store. If you have a ventilation hood that you would like designed a certain way, we can certainly do that for you. Just designed a range yesterday for a lady down in the Bethany area that has stainless steel polished accents, stainless steel handles, 36-inch oven. It's quite a nice range. So she's going to be very happy. I'm going to be very happy to take it there. It's one of a kind. It's really, really beautiful. So we have all your leading brands, LG, we have Whirlpool, we have KitchenAid, we have all the majors, we have all that. We started as a small company 45 years ago as a Montgomery Ward catalog store. And that was a surviving catalog store all the way till 1986. It was the last one closed in the United States, actually. It was that profitable and that large. So when it closed down as a catalog store, it started up as an appliance store. Well, fast forward, I worked there back in those years, 84 and 85, went on to complete college, 10 years night school, and got my associate's, bachelor's, and master's, and went on into industry, and was basically a janitor when I started. I ended up as a vice president of operations. So worked my way through. I have a family of 3 sons. All 3 are employed at the business. My wife takes care of the books. I take care of the operations, and we've grown over the years. I acquired this store on the front steps of my church after being laid off after 9/11. We started with 3 employees and a pickup truck. That's what we started with. And we had 2 brands. We had Frigidaire and we had Amana, and that's what we started with. That's from very humble beginnings we came. So, and that's how we run our business today. Very humbly, very grateful, very thankful. The years have changed us, as far as product opportunity, as far as numbers, but it's never changed our demeanor and our corporate responsibility. Our corporate responsibility is certainly to this community, all aspects of the community. We give a lot back through our used operations to the community, single-family homes, burned out victims, hospice patients, the list goes on and on. We support over 24 charities in the area, and veterans. All these donations are given to these outreaches for free. So when you shop with us, we rehab your old appliances, and a large part of them do get donated. So let me fast forward a little bit. So we started this operation, Tracy and I, 11 years ago when we took ownership. And since then, we have grown about 550%. We have grown very responsibly, very responsibly. We have kept our charters and our core values the same, and they are unwavering. First and foremost, our employees and their families are what we look out for. We never decreased, not 1 minute's labor or 1 position during the whole recession. Instead, Tracy and I went to the banks against the bank's better judgment, and we borrowed funds to keep our employees employed, leveraging our inventory that we had invested in over the years to keep our employees and their families safe through the recession. So that's one thing I think that you can kind of take as a characteristic landmark of who we are and what we stand for. We, doing that, felt that we had to keep our employees intact because they being the most vital resource that we have to keep our customers happy and growing that expansion in that market is what our premise was, and that's what we continued to do. The good news is that we've moved to a better location. We have a lot stronger curb appeal. We have a lot stronger product offering, and we have a lot stronger commitment, even more now than we ever had before with the addition of several new brands. Innovation is where we're going. We're looking to expand, and we're going to do that, I can tell you. We've always been a company that stays within 4 corners. Well, I'm happy to say that very soon we'll be going outside those 4 corners. We'll be doing some road sales and some engagement in some of the contract market that we've never actually tapped in the past. Consequently, with the remodel that we just accomplished in the last 20 weeks, that was done by myself and 3 of my employees and my brother. We rehabbed the whole Route 9 operation into what is, I consider, one of the most premier showrooms that you'll ever have the chance to walk into for appliances. We did that in 20 weeks, working of nights after our regular shifts and of Saturdays, 12 to 16 hours on a Saturday. So we're pretty proud of it. We'd like for you to stop by and see it. I really don't know what else I can tell you about our operations, but one thing that we do offer every day is 10-year major component warranties for free to you, our consumer, that protects your compressors on your refrigerators and freezers, your igniters on your ranges, your motors on your dishwashers and washers. And I don't want to bore you with all this stuff, but we service everything we sell. And our technicians are factory-trained technicians, and we offer same-day or next-day service on most situations. Thank you.
You got 30 seconds.
No.
Great.
You have a wonderful corporate culture and value, which would make me want to come to your store. I'm anxious to see it, quite frankly. And I know you've had this question before. How do you compete with the big stores, the Lowe's and the Home Depots and all of those big discount stores out there? How do you compete? Is it that corporate culture and your values?
It is. And that's one thing we had to deal with, quite honestly. Early on, I always say that we were just this little guy on the playground that used to get beat every day by the big bullies being Home Depot, Lowe's, and Sears. I'm happy to tell you, I went and got a bigger stick. We went out and we actually had to grow. And there was, our community is so strong that our community stood behind us in those years where we couldn't offer the best deal, but we could always offer the best service. And they stuck with us. And I was just talking about this with an employee last night. I said that, when we were small, like on a kitchen, a 4-piece kitchen, we were $1,000 heavier than Lowe's and Home Depot at times. And that's significant to you, the consumer. And we struggled with that for about 4 or 5 years. But you know what? Our community stood behind us, and they stuck with us. And when we finally got to the $1 million mark, can you believe that? When we finally got to the $1 million mark, there was a company, there was a buying conglomerate that actually had been watching us out of New York. And they asked us to join their conglomerate. Well, it was very expensive. And Tracy and I didn't know that we could afford it. But they worked it out for us so we could join. What that now allows us is we were able to expand rapidly on brands, but also we were able to have the buying power of over $600 million, which lines us up very well in the Lowe's, the Home Depot markets. And we're expanding our culture there as well with Buying Group. And what they do is they warehouse for us, and they have everything stocking, and we're buying members from that warehouse. And basically, we get shipments twice a day to our logistics center. We have an off-site logistics center that we went through the planning stages 5 years ago. You were talking about planning. I understand. We had to go through variances, and we had to go through hearings, public meetings, and all kinds of things to be able to do this 10,000 square foot logistics center, which we, thank God, got in operation 3 years ago. So everything comes there. It can accommodate all of our trucks. We can take them in during days of foul weather. Our employees are sheltered from the wind and rain and snow, and we can load right inside, and all your appliances never get touched by the weather. Load out, and the trucks head out every morning. All of our technicians come there, all of our delivery personnel, and our fleet of trucks and delivery trucks and service personnel are all there. So.
Great. Any other questions?
Yes, we do give them black eyes every day. They know who we are.
A couple of years ago, we replaced all the appliances in the kitchen, and I shopped at Home Depot and Lowe's, figured out what I wanted, came to Millman's, and we met the comparable price.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. We also have rebates that also give us an advantage in the market.
Good morning. So what is your long-term goal?
My long-term goal is to never change the identity of who we are and stay responsible to our citizens in the community and our employees and their families. That's my long-term goal.
Other locations, growth?
It's funny you ask that. With just moving to Route 9, I think there's an opportunity for us to expand beyond where we are at. But I will be honest with you, I'm not too keen on doing that, to be honest with you. I've seen many different business models, and I've watched many different business models soar and fail, if you will, with trying to grow too fast and too willy-nilly, if you will. You know, I'm more about planning, I'm more about consistency, I'm more about consideration. I don't want to stretch my resources beyond where they belong, and I don't want to stress my staff beyond where they need to be.
How many staff?
We're up to 17 employees, actually,
17.
and 2
Full-time?
part-time.
17 full-time and 2 part-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gary, how large is your store now, your new store?
My new store is 5,500 square feet.
5,500.
That's consistent with 3,500 square feet of display showroom and 2,000 square feet, Chris, of offices, which we never had at the old store. We used to do business over top of a range. Now we actually have a business office. It's kind of strange.
Good morning, Gary. Welcome. It's great to see you.
Good morning. It was many years ago that we sat in business classes together, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I actually have 2 questions. One is, what did you find in terms of challenges, and especially in recent years, and growth? And the reason why I'm asking this is because I have entrepreneurship students that are attending here today. And what advice would you give them?
Wow. You know, the challenges I think we had were coming through the recession like any small business, and keeping your operations under control, 1, funded 2, and really take a look at your employees and make sure that their families, were taken care of. That was big business for me, because when we headed into this recession, we saw it coming, we all did, we saw it coming. And having gone through the 9/11 type of thing, the first thing I did was called all my employees and their families and children together and assured them not one of them would lose a minute's work. So, you know, taking a look at I think, the entrepreneurial standpoint, I think it was really challenging, Keena, to just basically try to grow through the recession, you know, with lenders not being willing to partner so much, looking outside the normal scope of operations to try to see what you could really leverage, what you could grow as far as assets and things through the recession, so that in fact, as you came back on a growth pattern, you had the resources to grow with. Because there was plenty of opportunities out there, trucks that we were purchasing from as far away as New York and things like that. So we upgraded our fleet during that time, and really we upgraded a lot of our operations during that time. You know, we found when the building that we had quoted for $400,000 suddenly became a $119,000 opportunity. So, you know, we were really taking a look and really trying to find lending partners and how do we do this and what do we leverage and what do we get rid of. You know, there was a lot of decisions through that time, but I'm really happy to say that I think we handled them very responsibly, and we've got some really nice assets coming out the other side of this recession, and we're ready to do business. So.
Are there any other questions or comments? There you go.
Gary, you said do you partner with, I guess a business was looking at you, a conglomerate was looking at you. Did you know that they were looking at you, or?
I didn't, actually. It's a buying group, and you have to be invited into the buying groups. You don't just happen to fall in the buying groups. It's about how you conduct yourself as far as a business, a representative of the corporations. Recommendations actually from the manufacturer's representatives to the buying group on your behalf. We didn't politic it, we didn't solicit it. We were actually quite shocked, as we have been several times in the last recent years, with them coming in our organization and asking us, you know, would you participate with us? And at that time, there was only 78 other mega dealers that was in this buying group. Currently today, there's 94. And it's a board of directors, of which we have a chosen board of directors, and they're all independent businessmen that are retailers in my industry. And so we have voting rights and everything. We have meetings once a month. It's a very organized and well-run organization. It has over 700,000 square foot of operations, and it has bays for up to 41 trucks, I think, that load in and out every day. So when I say that I was surprised, in our industry, there's a magazine called Dealerscope Magazine. That's like the Money magazine is to the accounting field, that's our magazine for our industry. We've been selected 4 times in the last 8 years to that magazine. I actually took cover one time and have had articles specifically about forecasting market trends in the past. So, you know, little old Millman's is, your little old Millman's appliances, that's who we are, but we also have a footprint that's much bigger than we are. We also were selected by Whirlpool Corporation as one of the top 10 showrooms in 2007, I think was the year. So,
Any other questions or comments for Gary? Okay. Gary, how can we support you as a community?
tell your neighbors and friends, every time they need a washer or dryer, come see us. We humbly thank you for your business. If there's anything that I can personally do to make your experience better, my phone is always on. I'm extension 11.